To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
G'day guys, Disney Dave coming at you once again from Down Under with another video review unboxing sort of thing here. What can I say? The DMC, the Disney Movie Club, they are back at it again. Releasing exclusive discs. Usually I'm very excited about these. Yes, exclusive disc, yeah, cool, new movie that I couldn't have got any other way. But no, what are they doing? They're re-releasing catalogue titles from... they're re-releasing old titles from the back catalogue which have already been released on Blu-ray. Why are they doing this? They're doing this, of course, to cater for the people who may have missed out on getting the first copies, the first release copies of these movies when they first came out, maybe probably 5 or so years ago. But the thing that's annoying me here is that there's still 5 movies left from their back catalogue that they haven't released on Blu-ray at all. I want them to get these out. Just do it. Just make it happen. We know that there's concept art, there's commissioned artwork for at least one box set, 3 Caballeros and what was the other one called? Saludos Amigos. We know that there is concept art out there. There was a commissioned artwork for the DVD, for the Blu-ray release, and we've heard nothing since we discovered the artwork probably a year and a half ago. But anyway, being Disney sucker that I am, I went ahead and I purchased these two, basically the exact same as what I already have. We're going to take a look at them. Of course, these are the 2 newest releases in the animation front from Disney Movie Club. Of course, this is a club that if you're in America you can join up to, or if you're in Canada as well, you can join up to and take advantage of all these great deals where you can buy Disney DVDs and Blu-rays, and you get great deals and you get member exclusives and lots of titles that you can only get if you're a member of the club. They usually only have been releasing classic titles, like really old, sort of the original live-action films, like the Davy Crockett films and Herbie films. And most recently, they released the Witch Mountain films, and they've just released Absent Minded Professor. So you kind of get an idea of the kind of movies that they usually release, but all of a sudden they've decided, okay, well, let's start re-releasing the back catalogue of Disney animated titles that are already on Blu-ray, give them different slipcovers, put the exact same discs in there, and call it a day. So that's what they're doing at the moment. Instead of releasing the remaining 5 titles that they need to release, they're going back and they're re-releasing stuff. It's a little bit annoying, but I'm a completist and I end up buying all these things. Now, as I said, you have to be a citizen of the US or Canada to be part of the Disney Movie Club, but I've got an insider. I've got a third party, I suppose you'd call him, who I actually purchased a couple of titles off eBay from him, and he cut me a good deal, and I said to him, look, I'm in the market for quite a few of these exclusives. Whenever they're out, let me know when you place an order. And he's been awesome. He's been purchasing me just about every exclusive that comes around. I pay him, give them to me at a good price, not these scalper prices that you see these for on eBay. So if you're international like myself in Australia or UK or wherever else, and you want some of these exclusives, you don't want to pay eBay scalper prices, that's sort of the way to do it. Find yourself a third party who's going to get you these discs. So I emailed this guy and I said there were a couple of live action titles I wanted to get my hands on, but I also said, alright, grab me a copy of Alice in Wonderland and Dumbo, the 2 latest releases from the Disney Movie Club, and I'll just add them to my collection. Now, these are both Blu-ray DVD collections with digital HD copies. Great thing was, he wanted the digital copy. I didn't want the digital copy because I can't access them here in Australia. So I said to him, you take the digital copy, I'll take the movies. He cut me an even better deal, which is absolutely beautiful. So we're going to take a look at both of these. We're also going to compare them to the original releases of these. I believe they both must have been released 5 years ago, because this was originally the 70th anniversary. The first release of this was 70th anniversary release. The first release of this was 60th anniversary, and now we've got the 75th and the 65th release anniversary of these 2 films here. So we're going to take them over to the table over there, and we're going to take a look at the front, the back, we're going to open them up, we're going to look at the sides, and we're also going to compare them to the previously released versions of these movies on Blu-ray. In case you're wondering whether or not to pick these up, my suggestion is, if you have them already, don't. But watch this video anyway and just check it out. Let's go. Alright, so once again we're taking a look at the new exclusive titles to the Disney Movie Club, the DMC. These are re-releases of previously released Blu-rays. We're going to take a look at those as well in a moment. But firstly, let's take a quick look. Of course, we are looking at what is the 75th anniversary edition of Dumbo. This one was released in 1941. So that is the 75th anniversary this year, being 2016, and Alice in Wonderland is marking the 65th anniversary edition, originally coming out in 1951. Now, what's very sort of odd about that is that Disney often, when they're celebrating these anniversary titles, they often either jump the gun and release a anniversary title like a year earlier than they should, or they release it a year later than they should. Sometimes, in some cases, they've released anniversary titles 2 years out from the actual anniversary. But here we go, we actually do have legitimate anniversary releases here, 75th anniversary and 65th anniversary, and it just so happens that this Alice in Wonderland release was released just in time to coincide with the theatrical release of Alice Through the Looking Glass, the live-action film that's just come out from Disney. Now, let's just take a very quick look here. We are taking a look at, let's have a look at Dumbo first. We have here, this is one of my all-time favourite Disney movies. I mean, who doesn't love this? This is one of the absolute classics, and I'm a sucker for the Walt era films, especially those from the 1940s, late 30s, Snow White, and the early 40s, Dumbo, Pinocchio, Fantasia, Bambi. I mean, I hold them very close to my heart. They were films that I grew up watching as a kid, and I'm sure many people did, and the sense of wonder and enchantment in these films especially were was something special growing up. So we have Dumbo, as I said, one of my absolute favourite Disney films of all time, one of my favourite films of all time. There's the cover here, and we're going to flick to the back. And this is the back cover. It's a bit different. It's a little bit of a different design than we would usually see on any of these Disney released discs. We don't have the usual design of the bonus features here. It's in this little sort of like peanut shaped sort of thing. And then we have the text here. And of course a couple of little snippets from the film, a couple of little frame grabs of the film, and of course some clip art of Dumbo and Timothy the Mouse up here. And that's actually a really nicely designed cover. I really like this slip cover actually. On the side we have the spine. Now I often forget to show the spines. I have to fix that. There's your spine for Dumbo. I actually come out a tiny bit for this. There's the spine there. We have Dumbo down the bottom. And if you flip over to the other side, it's exactly the same. It's not like we have a different... Sometimes you get a different character there. I thought maybe you'd get Timothy there, but no, it's just Dumbo. Exactly the same on both sides. Of course it says it has Dumbo 75th Anniversary Edition down the spine there. Sort of interesting. They've gone with a grey border this time. This has got to be just about the first grey bordered Blu-ray. I think they've used it on a few of the DVDs. Most of the DVDs have a sort of a grey border. This is the first real time they've gone with it on the Blu-ray, and it's interesting. And like I noted with the Zootopia release that I took a look at in a video I've just uploaded, there's no pattern down the side. Usually there's sort of a little pattern down the side, but there's none of that with this release either. It seems like they've sort of gotten rid of that. Also, it seems that, if I can pull out one of these, this is one of the other Disney Movie Club releases that came out not that long ago. Pocahontas and Mulan both of these have yellow borders, and that's very typical of Disney Movie Club titles, whether they be live action, usually the live action ones, but they seem to be following trend with these two. And then it's time for Dumbo and Alice, and we've got a grey one and we've got a green one. So we've sort of broken the mould there. Again, as I've always said, there's nothing like consistency with Disney. So this is actually it's an embossed cover. So all of this here, you'll see if I do this, is all embossed. Dumbo's embossed, Timothy the Mouse is embossed, the tent, and of course the how do I get that light on there? There we go. The text up the top, Dumbo, is embossed as well, and the Blu-ray logo there too. Let's do a very quick comparison to this. This was the original release of Dumbo. This must have come out, well, obviously 5 years ago now. Yeah, since this was the 70th anniversary. Well, it came out in Australia quite a bit earlier. It came out in Australia maybe 1 or 2 years earlier than it did in the States. And actually, that's something very strange, is that under here is actually the Australian edition of the film. I started buying my Disney discs in Australia, and because the American discs were originally region locked, and then I'd have to buy the slipcovers to go over the top of them. So this one's actually an Australian release, so it's going to be a bit difficult to sort of compare the insides of the two releases, but I can at least compare the two slipcovers here. It's a very similar design. I mean, the artwork is not too dissimilar. They've gone with pretty much exactly the same idea of Dumbo in flight with his big wings flapping in the air, and Timothy on the ground, or sort of standing on something, whether it be a hill or a little circus drum or something or other, cheering him on. And then you've got the sky in the background. I personally, look, I think this art's a little boring compared to this one. I really like how Dumbo's quite big on this, and I think he just looks a bit weird on this one. There's a lot of negative space on this cover. Also, as you notice, this is really, it's glossy, but it's sort of a matte finish. It's a glossy finish, but there's no real effects on it like Disney used to do with these releases. This was the first Dumbo release, and look at those beautiful effects on that slipcover. And they don't do this kind of stuff anymore with the slipcovers. That's absolutely beautiful. A really nice touch. Well, they don't do it often. They did it with the Star Wars Force Awakens disc recently, but this kind of stuff has just become stock standard releases for them now. They don't really put much special effort into these sets too much anymore, as much as they used to anyway. Let's compare the backs quickly so I can get these out of here. Of course, the old one and the new one. The original one was 2 disc, had 1 disc of a Blu-ray and 1 disc of DVD, and of course the new one does as well. It has a Blu-ray DVD, but it also has the digital copy, which is why they're re-releasing these titles mostly, is to, well, to get people who didn't get this edition, to give them a chance to buy another edition, but also to suck those who bought this one to buy this one again because you get a digital copy with it. For me, it all comes down to having different artworks of basically the same thing. Now, interesting to note on the back here is that the text is different. It gives you a bit of a different rundown here. At the top of this one, of course, for the first time ever in celebration of this landmark film's 70th anniversary, experience the daring adventures of the world's flying elephant with a dazzling all-new digital restoration and brilliant Disney-enhanced high-definition theatre mix sound. Of course, they couldn't go with that on this one because this is a re-release. This one's just get set to celebrate the 75th anniversary of Dumbo, the world's only flying elephant. So even the rundown of the film synopsis has changed a little bit on there too. Now we're going to just take a quick look at the bonus features on both of these as well. They're pretty much going to be exactly the same because the disc is a pretty much it's the exact same disc from this just thrown into this one. There's not really a difference there. It's going to be the same menus and absolutely everything there. Deleted scenes, deleted song, Taking Flight, The Making of Dumbo, The Magic of Dumbo, A Rite of Passage, audio commentary, Celebrating Dumbo featurette, and more. And if we look at this, Celebrating Dumbo featurette, it's got the deleted scenes, it's got the deleted song, got Taking Flight, got The Magic of Dumbo, it's got the audio commentary, and then it has stuff like art galleries and trivia, Disney View, and more as well. Now, the one thing I haven't had a look at the disc myself yet, but I'd be very surprised to see if it did port across the CineXplore feature. CineXplore was this awesome special feature they used to do where they would have this. It was basically a visual commentary of the movie. They would film people in there doing the audio commentary, and you could watch it on screen as you were watching the film, and they'd put like a concept art on the screen. It was absolutely fantastic. They stopped doing that after maybe 3 or 4 releases. This had one, Sleeping Beauty had one, I think Snow White had one, and there was maybe 1 or 2 other films that had it as well. It was my favourite thing, and then they just stopped doing it because they stopped putting much effort into it at all. So basically this is going to be exactly the same as this, so unless you really, really want the digital HD copy, or you really, really, really want a different slipcover and whatever else, there's no real reason to go out and buy this because it's exactly the same as what you've already got. We'll go spine to spine. Practically the same spine. The spines line up here. One's a blue spine, the old one, and the new one is the red spine. They've both got little Dumbo clip art down the bottom. In fact, it's exactly the same Dumbo clip art down the bottom. And one says 70th anniversary, one says 75th anniversary edition. The new one has the Disney logo, the old one doesn't, which is odd. Don't know why, but there you go. They're the two spines there. We'll quickly crack this open. Now, as I've said, I get this from a third-party guy, and I let him grab the digital copies off me, so there will be no digital copy code thing in here. There's that. Same. And that is practically the same as well. Now, the sound mix on this is actually a 7.1 surround sound. Looking at the old one, it's got a 7.1 surround sound as well. So it's exactly the same sound mix on both of them. So it's going to be it is going to be exactly the same disc ported across. So if the CineXplore feature is on here, it actually wouldn't surprise me too much because they wouldn't have had to go to any effort of reauthoring a disc. And then of course your stock standard blue and white Disney DVD, Blu-ray, and your white and silver Disney DVD. And there you go for Dumbo. Now let's whack Alice in Wonderland in here. This is the new release here. Disney Movie Club exclusive. Once again, just as Dumbo is, this is going to be an exact port over of the original Alice in Wonderland Blu-ray, which was released around 5 years ago. The Blu-ray under my old one is actually a American copy, so I can properly compare the two of these. So there's your cover, Alice in Wonderland. It's a bit muddled. It's not great. It's not very well designed. It's basically like they've grabbed a bunch of stock standard Alice in Wonderland clip art off their servers and gone, all right, let's just whack Alice there, or put the Cheshire Cat there, we'll grab the rabbit, we'll put the Mad Hatter there, we'll grab the Queen of Hearts, and we'll grab that caterpillar guy, and we'll just whack them all in there and throw in some sparkles and put the text there. That's basically what that looks like. It's an absolute muddle. It's all over the place. There's been a lot of people complaining about this cover, and I can see why, because it's not really that visually pleasing. Here's your back cover here. It's designed a little bit better. It's nice. Again, we've gone with a very different motif to the design of it all. I really like how they're designing their back covers now. Not everything... they do have a very similar sort of motif. So they are keeping everything sort of similar, but they're also designed in their own very special way as well. So it complements the film itself. Spines. Zoom out. Alice in Wonderland, 65th Anniversary Edition. Alice in Wonderland, 65th Anniversary Edition, and on both we have the little clip art of Alice there. Let's go back in and fix this. We'll do this all at once. So we got front covers on both of them, exactly the same, and the back covers are going to be exactly the same here as well. Okay, so let's whack this back in here before we crack open the case and bring in the original release. It's also, look, the design of the original release is also a bit muddled, but it's a little nicer. It's a little more conformed, and it's a little less muddled. But the interesting thing here, whereas Dumbo, they've gone with a very similar cover in style, they've basically gone with exactly the same cover here because they have actually used the same artwork. For this guy is the same, Mad Hatter's the same, the rabbit's not even on there, she's the same, the caterpillar's the same, he's changed. Now Alice looks very similar, but there's a difference in the arm and there's a difference in the eyes, so it's just a different variation. Once again, like the Dumbo, this one is just a glossy regular slip, no special effects, whereas the original Alice release had this beautiful shimmer to it. And here's actually something interesting. This Alice in Wonderland doesn't have any of that embossed texture around the sides that I was talking about before. This was actually a standout of the original releases because this was the first, and I think one of the only ones who actually didn't have anything down the spine. So this one is following on from that, basically. Back is actually quite similar there. And once again, we have got different text. The text different, so some copywriter has written different text for this one. And our bonus features are At a Glance, Deleted Scenes, Reflections on Alice Featurette, An Alice Comedy, and From Wonderland to Neverland, and more. This one we have Reflections on Alice Featurette, we have Deleted Scenes, we have Reflections on Alice, and yeah, everything's exactly the same. So again, they haven't bothered to re-author a disc, author a new disc. They have gone in with the exact same disc that they went with before. So once again, if you have this one, there is really no point in getting this one unless you want that digital HD copy. And both of these come with a Blu-ray and a DVD. This one just comes with a digital copy. Open her up. Again, my third-party guy has taken my digital code. Again, stock standard discs. If we zoom out, we can bring in this one. I couldn't do this with the Dumbo because I was comparing an American to an Australian release. This is when Disney actually put a little bit of effort into stuff. I mean, look, nice artwork on the discs here. The DVD is just as plain and boring, but they used to put this beautiful effort into putting picture discs in there. They don't do that anymore. So all in all, the original release of this is a nicer package, a really better designed, better looking package. But if you missed it, then going for this Disney Movie Club exclusive is perfect for you. I mean, you're getting practically the same cover, minus a few little bits and pieces. Oh, before I get rid of that completely, spines. Oh, There you go. There's actually quite a bit of a difference here. Whereas the Dumbo one was practically, once again, the same. The Alice in Wonderlands are a bit different because we've got different text. We've got different font for the Alice in Wonderland logo on both the spine and here. We've got different fonts being used here. And on this one, we have the March Hare, and on the new one, we have Alice. 60th Anniversary Edition, 65th, and again, the new one has a Disney logo, the old one doesn't. Flipping over, the new one has Alice, and the old one has the March Hare. It actually interests me, it surprises me actually, that the original one didn't have Alice on the spine. So that's going to look cool in my collection when I put them both next to each other. I've got both Alice and the March Hare on the shelf. There you go, there's something a little bit interesting. So, again, if you're looking into buying these or you're considering buying these but you already have the original releases, again, there's really no point in doing so unless you really want that digital copy or you are a completist like me and you need all the covers. But basically these releases are practically the same. They've changed the covers up a little bit so that you go, oh, new edition, but the discs are exactly the same. They've just chucked in a digital code. They both have Blu-ray, DVD and digital HD, which was interesting because the Pocahontas ones which they just released, Pocahontas and Mulan, these are also Disney Movie Club exclusives. Pocahontas came with a Blu-ray, a DVD and a digital HD, whereas Mulan only came with a Blu-ray, no DVD, whereas the original version came with a DVD. So no idea why these three have a DVD and Mulan doesn't. That's very strange. Now, one thing that sets these two apart from these two is that there was a bigger factor in grabbing a collector's attention with these two films. Artwork completely different. Not that's the big factor that I'm talking about, but that is a factor. Artwork was completely different to the two original releases of these, but also these were individual releases of the first films, of the original films, whereas the previous release had these two films packaged with their straight to VHS or straight to DVD sequels. So these were the first standalone releases of these two films, whereas these two are basically just a repackage of something that you've already got, a set that you have already got. So, once again, if you're in the market for these two discs for whatever reason, if you do feel the need to go ahead and grab them, then go ahead and grab them. But if you're sitting on the fence and you're kind of going, well, I have the old ones, do I need these ones? Well, no, you don't need them. Because, again, they're basically exactly the same. The artwork's just a little bit different. And not, I guess, as fancy as these ones are. But to save yourself $100 or whatever crazy prices these are going for on eBay these days, pick up these. Okay, so I'm going to grab these, I'm going to head over to the couch and we're going to very, very quickly wrap the proceedings up. Okay, so we've taken a look here at the Alice in Wonderland and Dumbo latest releases from the Disney Movie Club. There's not much more to say about these. As I said, they're practically exactly the same as the previous releases, except for the slipcovers here. Really, if you're a sucker for packaging and just being a completist like me, then you'll probably want to pick these up. I picked them up at a really good price, so I couldn't complain. I mean, I probably ended up spending maybe 25, 30 Australian dollars between the two of them. So that's something that's not going to break the bank, and I get to add them to my collection, and whatever, why not? As I said, these are available exclusively through the Disney Movie Club, but if you're smart, there are other ways around it, whether it be eBay or getting a third-party seller to get the films for you, then go ahead and do that yourself. That's the best way to get them internationally. But if you're in the US, I mean, the club sounds awesome. If I was living in the US or Canada, I would be joining the club and I'd be taking advantage of all these deals because you get some really good deals on there from what I've seen. So if you are in America and you want some of the titles like these, go ahead, join up. Why not? Anyway, that is it from me today. We've gone over them, so I've said everything that I need to say. So until next time, please hit subscribe. I need lots more subscribers. Hit like and follow me over on Facebook. Like me on Facebook, rather I should say, so I can keep up to date on all the happenings here at Disney Dave. Look on Facebook. Ooh, there's a new Disney Dave video. Let's go over to Facebook and check it out. Cool. Or YouTube. Oh, notification. Oh, Disney Dave, new video. Just do it. Just keep up to date if you like what you have seen here. I'm doing heaps of these videos and I will be doing heaps of them in the future. So once again, thank you for watching, and until next time, I will see you later, and I hope you have a magical day.